Good afternoon. It's 66 degrees in Richland Center at 1210. For WRCO News, I'm Joanne Krulotz. The Wisconsin DNR wants the public to check the fire danger on its website before conducting any outdoor burning activities. There is a potential for increased fire activity due to dry weather and gusty winds. The DNR says most of Wisconsin is under a high fire threat, while some of the southern portions of the state are in a moderate high fire threat, and areas of northern Wisconsin are in a very high fire danger. It is advised to check the map regularly as it has been updating throughout the morning. Areas with fallen leaves and dormant plants and grasses are especially vulnerable, and the main cause of wildfires at this time of year is burning brush and leaf piles. Burning brush, leaf piles, and debris are the number one causes of wildfires in Wisconsin. Sparks from recreational equipment and campfires are also contributing causes. Z-Best Foods Incorporated in Green Bay is issuing a voluntary Class 1 recall for its Chili John's meat sauce and Chili John's chili with spaghetti and beans Super Bowl products. The affected products were distributed to wholesale distributors and may still be on retail store shelves throughout Wisconsin. The affected products carry the Wisconsin Mark of Inspection for establishment number 545 and includes Chili John's meat sauce in 8-ounce and 16-ounce containers with lot codes of 2551, 2621, and 2631 present on the container, and Chili John's chili with spaghetti and beans Super Bowl in 14-ounce containers, all flavors with lot code 2661 present on the container. This is a Class 1 recall initiated based on evidence collected during routine inspection activities. Evidence shows that the products were produced with temperature deviations or without temperature control records. No illnesses have been reported as a result of consuming these products. Anyone with signs or symptoms of a foodborne illness should contact their doctor. Consumers who have these products should discard them. For questions about this recall, call 920-336-8713. Wisconsin has sent a task force to help after Hurricane Helene. Emergency Management Administrator Greg Engel says Wisconsin Task Force 1 is a state asset with specialized training and capabilities which can deploy in Wisconsin and beyond. 16 members of the Swift Water Rescue Team left over the weekend, and specialized equipment like boats, water rescue gear, and communications equipment. The task force is currently assisting with searches in western North Carolina. Members come from 8 fire departments from across Wisconsin. Task Force 1 was originally requested to help for 7 days, but that could be shortened or lengthened based on need. More beer and wine licenses will be available in the City of Richland Center. The Common Council of the City of Richland Center amended Chapter 399 of the Richland Center Code of Ordinances at last night's meeting as follows. The number of persons and places that may be granted liquor licenses by the City of Richland Center is limited as provided in the Wisconsin statutes, and the Common Council shall have the exclusive authority to grant licenses under this chapter, except that the council by resolution may designate a committee or other subunit to exercise this authority on the council's behalf. The ordinance had previously allowed less licenses than what the state statute allowed. It was reported that the overhead crane in the street shop used for repairs, installation, and removal of equipment from trucks has stopped working. Cone Cranes, who does the inspection and repair work at both the city and county, was contacted for service and a repair estimate. The council approved the overhead crane repair at the streets building by Cone Cranes at a cost of $7,842. In other action, Casey Gerner was appointed to the ADA committee, and Todd Coppernall was appointed to the Utility Commission. Tony Burke spoke during the public comment section of last night's meeting, explaining that he and his wife have purchased Town Taxi from the Carley family. He is hoping to apply for a public transportation grant. The next Richland Center City Council meeting will be a week later than normal in November. The meeting, regularly scheduled for the first Tuesday of the month, will be held on the second Tuesday in November due to the general election on November 5th. School's back in session for Wisconsin, and according to a new survey, 84% of Badger State parents say they're satisfied with the quality of schools their children attend. According to the survey conducted by 50 Can and released by Navigate School Choice, 37% of moms and dads described themselves as very satisfied, while 40% said they were somewhat satisfied. In addition, parents were more likely to say that their children were excelling at and were performing above grade level in reading than in math. Still, more than 1 in 5 Badger State parents say that if they had a choice, they'd choose a different school for their child. And 31% of families in the state said they did not have a choice of where to send their child to school in the first place. According to Shelby Doyle, Vice President of Navigate School Choice, these results, high parent satisfaction but a desire for more options, might seem contradictory but reflect a national trend. Wisconsin parents who want to learn more about their school choice options can visit the newly launched myschoolchoice.com, which provides comprehensive and jargon-free information about the traditional public charter, public magnet, private, online, home, and non-traditional education choices available in the Badger State. Breast cancer is becoming an increasingly common diagnosis in women under the age of 40. Younger women have denser breast tissue. Cecilia Strode is an MD and breast surgeon at Aspirus.
Mammogram may not be enough, especially if they have other risk factors. And so what we add to that is screening MRI. And with a screening MRI, we can find very small tumors also in women who have dense breasts that would have otherwise gone unrecognized.
However, unless deemed medically necessary, screening MRIs are not covered by all insurance in the U.S. Lifestyle choices can reduce your chances of developing cancer.
The Mediterranean diet is kind of the recommended diet at this point. More physical activity and exercise is better, but even a little bit goes a long way.
And zero alcohol intake. Donald Trump returned to Milwaukee for the first time since accepting the Republican nomination for president. Civic Media's Stuart J. Waddles reports.
Trump delivered a subdued speech focusing on educational matters, particularly criticizing the low reading proficiency rates in Milwaukee public schools. The former president also addressed recent events in the Middle East.
I think even Iran would have been in the Abraham Accords. Ultimately, it would have been great for everybody, and you would have had peace in the Middle East.
Stuart J. Waddles, Civic Media News.
The Wisconsin Democratic Party is outraising the state Republican Party at a rate of about 4-1 this year. The Democrats have raised nearly $20 million, while the state GOP has pulled in not quite $5 million. Both parties filed their September fundraising reports this week. Big donations are driving the numbers for both parties. Democrats and Republicans in Wisconsin have picked new presidential electors. 10 Wisconsin Republicans posed as fake electors for Donald Trump 4 years ago. They agreed to a settlement last year that called for them to admit Joe Biden won. They also agreed not to serve as electors in any election involving Trump. The November general election is just over a month away. Civic Media has a Wisconsin legislative voter guide with all the information you're looking for. Candidates running to represent you and the new legislative maps. Visit civicmedia.us/voter guide. To learn what is specifically on your ballot and where your polling place is, visit myvote.wi.gov. The Ithaca School District will be holding an informational session tonight in regards to a referendum question that will appear on November's election ballot. The question will be asking voters to authorize the Ithaca School District to exceed the revenue limit by $1.3 million per year for 4 years for non-recurring purposes. As in previous sessions that were held, those who will be in attendance and will be informed about the referendum question and the 2 major reasons for it. Also, the impacts it will have on residents of the Ithaca School District will be discussed. Those attending the session are also welcome to voice their opinions and concerns, as well as ask any questions they may have. Tonight's informational sessions will be held at 5:45 in the Ithaca Community Gym. If you are unable to attend tonight's session, one more informational session will be held Sunday morning at 11:30 at the Willow Valley Church Hall. All are welcome to attend both sessions. A new report says agribusiness consolidation has led to less competition, higher prices, and abusive practices. The report's author is Basil Musharbash.
We found that either a single firm or a small, tightly coordinated group of firms have amassed monopoly power, the power to control prices or exclude competitors from a given market in nearly every major industry that manufactures and sells farm inputs, that buys or processes farm crops, or that distributes food to the public. It doesn't have to be this way. These firms are smart and powerful. They've executed strategies over decades. The U.S. government allowed it because we made policy decisions not to enforce the antitrust laws to the fullest extent. We can take action to fix that.
The report finds abuses such as engineered shortages designed to keep prices high. Governor Tony Evers has appointed Ryan Keeler to serve as Grant County District Attorney. The appointment fills a vacancy created by former District Attorney Ian Mickelson's resignation. Keeler will serve for the remainder of the unexpired term that ends January 2025. Since 2016, Keeler has been in private law practice in Platteville, where he focused on criminal defense. He previously served as president of the Grant County Bar Association and also served as a lecturer of agricultural and environmental law at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. Originally from his family's dairy farm outside of Platteville, Keeler is a graduate of UW-La Crosse and the University of Wisconsin Law School and currently lives in Platteville. Now that the temperatures are getting cooler and weather conditions will be changing soon, many consumers might be looking for a place to store larger spring and summer recreational items to keep them protected during the fall and winter. Michelle Reinen is with Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
Winter weather is coming. Maybe you have a boat or recreational vehicle or that classic car that you're going to want to store. And consumers may not realize that here at DADCAP in our Bureau of Business Trade Practices, we're responsible for enforcing a variety of consumer protection laws, which include licensing and regulating public warehouse keepers who store for hire. Now, storing for hire means the accepting and maintaining custody of another person's property for payment. It's not including those rental storage units or self-storage that renters can access at any time or that they want, and they store their own belongings. Again, this is that storing for hire where you don't have the specific access to the unit. They are licensed by our agency and include many types of businesses that store a variety of items for individuals.
When searching for a legitimate licensed store for hire location, DATCAP can help.
These could include warehousing companies that handle product distribution, a moving company that stores household goods, maybe a vehicle dealership or service center that provides off-season storage for those boats, RVs, power sport vehicles, and just even consider a farmer who rents an empty barn, shed, or field as a storage space could fall in this category. And we keep a list of licensed public warehouse keepers on the website, and we want to be sure that when selecting one, you consider those storage requirements for the property you're storing and whether the type of storage being provided meets those needs, and check them out before you put any down payment or sign any agreement to be sure that they are licensed as a public warehouse keeper in Wisconsin.
Michelle Reinen says that it's important that the place of storage is licensed so you can get proper coverage to protect what you are storing in case something happens.
If you are doing a self-storage, then you need to have that renter's insurance. You'll still want to have insurance for the item that you are storing, but often that insurance company is going to want to validate that they are a store for hire or a licensed public warehouse keeper, and so you will want to be able to provide that information, and that's where verifying before you sign that contract so it doesn't impact your insurance in a negative way should something happen in that off-season to that location and your item that you've stored.
If you are storing your personal property this winter, visit datcp.wi.gov to download DATCAP's list of licensed public warehouse keepers in Wisconsin. If you need assistance or if you have been scammed, you can contact DATCAP's Consumer Protection Hotline by phone at 1-800-422-7128 or by email at datcphotline@wi.gov. The Kickapoo Reserve Dam Challenge Triathlon challenges participants to compete among the rugged hills of scenic southwestern Wisconsin's rural countryside and the Kickapoo Valley Reserve. This year's challenge will be held this Saturday. The river portion of the dam challenge is 7 river miles with the current on the Kickapoo River. Bring your own boat or race rentals are available. The bike route takes you through the valleys and over the ridge through Amish country. This is not a closed course. The race shared 14.5 miles of country roads with vehicle traffic. The 3.5-mile trail run course of the Dam Challenge uses natural surface trails through woodlands and prairies. A pre-pasta supper will be held Friday with the Dam Challenge Triathlon Saturday. More information can be found at kickapoovalley.wi.gov/events and click on the Dam Challenge link. The deadline to register for the triathlon is today. The Richland Center Kiwanis will be hosting one of its famous pancake suppers this evening from 5 to 7 to raise funds for its coat drive. The Richland Center Kiwanis Pancake Supper will be held this evening, again from 5 to 7 at the Richland Center Community Center.